Over the last 13 or so years of building my financial planning company and Powerhouse, I have learned an incredible amount. A lot of what not to do, many painful, very expensive mistakes, but I also found what works and what went right. And that's what I want to share with you guys. And over the years, I definitely had my fair share of peaks and valleys and periods of time where I just wasn't thriving. And in those moments where I felt like showing up to work was more of a burden or exhausting than something that was lighting me up, were the same moments where I wasn't completely aligned. I mean, it was really before I decided to take time, pause, and own and recognize my why. Who am I becoming? What am I doing all of this for? And why do I want it so badly? And so, if you have ever been in a period of time where you are feeling like you are not quite certain why you're working your ass off and is it all worth it, or maybe you're there right now and you're just feeling completely stuck or uninspired, think about, what do you want? What do you want most, and why do you want it? That why is so significant when it comes to finding the grit to get through the hard times or to get uncomfortable to get what you want, because ultimately, usually it doesn't require doing the same thing over and over again. And when you know your why and you have conviction in it and purpose is to why you're doing what you're doing and its significance to you, it helps give you not only that undeniable confidence, it helps you feel unshakable regardless of what life throws your way while you're building business. Because even though I am utterly obsessed with what I do, I absolutely love it. And anybody who knows me knows that. I sure as shit don't love every day. There are most definitely days where I just want to go back to bed or call in sick, but unfortunately, that's just not how life works when you're the boss. And so knowing my why and remembering that, or even revisiting my vision board once in a while, helps give me that stamina I need, because there is purpose so much deeper than just what may feel what's on the surface level sometimes. So really know your why so you become unfuckwithable as you are continuing to build your company. And so it will also help you eliminate those periods of times too when you just want to burn the boats. So have clarity on that and keep that clarity front and center. And what I mean by front and center is it is so easy to know your why and get super excited and have passion and conviction behind it. And then it gets a little bit hard and then you revert back to all your old habits and then you forget and it gets stale and there you go again. And so you have to have it in front of you all the time and remind yourself of it until it becomes a normal, ordinary practice. It is like a muscle sometimes you have to build, just like confidence. Even though it's something that we know so deeply is important to us, it's not that we forget it, but sometimes it gets stuffed below, because getting through that moment where we go from here or stuck to thriving can be extremely uncomfortable. So keep that in mind. And when making decisions and how you're spending your time, think about, is everything that you're doing aligned with your goals? And those goals that you're creating should have everything to do with your purpose and your why. And so what are you choosing? And when you're choosing that, make sure it is 100% aligned with your vision and your purpose, or not. I know this sounds very simple, but we overcomplicate the hell out of everything, overanalyze stuff, overthink stuff, we overcommit. And so really think about if it is aligned. So what I've said to myself this year is, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. And so anytime I am presented with an opportunity, or even somebody asks me to do something, is like simple social stuff. Like if it doesn't feel like a hell yes, it is a hard no. And that has made it so much easier for me to make decisions this year, because I've had my year of yes, I've had my year of no, and then sometimes it like got a little bit murky because I let myself feel some kind of way. And when I shifted that and put it into the perspective of, is this a hell yes? It had a little bit more conviction, emotion to it, and it was just an easier decision. So that is what I am doing. And truly, when you're making decisions based on your why, your purpose, and your goals, it is also the difference between living a busy life and a full life. Often we say, oh my God, I'm so busy, but like, are you busy just doing stuff? Or do you have a full schedule? Are you living a fulfilled life and choosing everything you're showing up for, even if it feels really packed sometimes? If it's aligned, it won't feel so incredibly daunting. So living a full life is really more so about priority management over time management, and being productive and intentional and not busy. Being busy doesn't mean you're productive. Being busy doesn't mean you're going to be successful. Being busy doesn't mean you're getting shit done. It just means that you're filling your schedule up with crap. And so audit that and make sure that that busyness is actually fullness, and it's fulfilling, and it's intentional, and it's all aligned. And if it's not, get rid of it, cut it out, because busy is often an excuse that we also make as a defense mechanism if we don't want to say yes to something that could be scary, intimidating. Maybe we're afraid of it because we could fail, or it feels uncomfortable. And so when someone asks us to do something, and maybe inside we know we should, we immediately say, I'm too busy. Or maybe you're thinking about investing in a coaching program to help you move the bar, and you say, I'm too busy for that. I hear that all the time when I'm talking to these women who have these wild goals, and they're so incredible, and they're talking about what they want, and they're complaining about everything they don't want, all the challenges they're currently facing, all the struggles that they're having. And I know with full out conviction, I can help them. And I go over our mastermind program and what it would do, and immediately say, oh, I'm too busy for that right now. And they see that as like this knee-jerk reaction because it either sounds like something that is going to push them outside of their comfort zone, which it absolutely will, or they are scared about the investment, versus having full out faith and conviction that it's going to pay for itself if they take action and get uncomfortable. But it's like the commitment. We're like commitment-ophobes. Or we just don't give ourselves enough credit. We don't give ourselves the ability to actually just do the things and invest in ourselves and have that belief that we will do this. We will make things work. And so catch yourself there too. If you're saying like, oh, I'm too busy for that, but that's the exact thing that's going to get you what you want, call bullshit and knock it off. Like, you are worth it. And way too often we sell ourselves short, or we talk ourselves out of stuff. And so don't let busy be an excuse. Let it be a sign or a term to stop you, pause you, and call, or pause rather, and call bullshit. And if you're stuck is a signal, okay? It is a signal that we have stopped growing. And we are not meant to stop growing. Human beings are constantly meant to be evolving, learning, creating. And part of that goes with getting uncomfortable as fuck, especially if you want to do something within your business to get to a next level. And it might not be growing your company to have more revenue. It might be growing your team so you work less. There's lots of different ways to look at growth. It's not always expansion from a top line, but it could be internal too. And so, when I'm saying grow, it doesn't mean like scaling like crazy, but often it's also looking inside and saying, man, like, is this business running the way that I want it to run? And is my life aligned with the business, or is the business aligned with the life that I want to lead rather? Words are hard. So think about that as well, in going through your day to day. And we've all started a business for a reason. We started a business because most of us wanted more freedom, or we were terrible employees. We wanted more freedom of time. We wanted more financial freedom. But when I talk to a lot of my peers who are business owners, they definitely don't feel like they have more freedom. It's almost like they're consumed by business sometimes, or it owns them because they might not have the right who's or the right butts and the right seats. And so fundamentally, it's important to take inventory too of your business, and hey, what are some of the things that maybe strategically I want to work on before we even think about growing the business. We need to grow inside and really make sure that we're looking at that too, and avoiding that burnout, and thinking about that and having tough conversations with your team, or maybe it's a tough conversation with yourself, can be really uncomfortable. And so there's growth in it. It takes on so many different forms and terms. And so, look at how you're managing your day to day and just own it. Be honest with every single minute. I love doing a time awareness log without like any judgment, and just let that stuff fall onto paper, because it gives us data. And what happens in real life is often very different than what happens in our head, or like our own mental accounting for it. And I promise you, if you treated every minute like you treat a dollar, you'd show up a lot differently. You do things differently. You choose differently. And so I challenge you to do that, because oftentimes what happens too is like we are paralyzed and frozen in anxiety or overwhelm, and we're like, oh, we have so much to do, you don't know what to do, and then you actually do nothing, and it perpetuates this problem of feeling overwhelmed, and it wastes a lot of time. And so if you get really crystal clear on not only what you want, why you want it, and then what you're choosing and saying yes to, it will actually help you with your schedule and your to-do list, and looking at that priority management versus time management, and then blocking it all in your calendar. And a tool that I love to use, I believe it's technically called the Eisenhower Matrix, but I love using this in helping me with my time blocking and my to-dos, and listing them in priority, so I know always what to do first. And so it's what is the important and urgent. Those are the things on your list that you have to take care of right now. What are the things that are important and not urgent? Those are the things you need to schedule for yourself. Put in your calendar. A good example of that is writing a book. It's not urgent. It might not be lighting the world on fire right now, but it's really important if you plan to write a book to use it as a business development tool, or to give you a level of expertise in your industry, and allow you to get speaking gigs or opportunities. Books are a great way to prove that you know what you're talking about, often to make a bigger impact and access more people who you wouldn't be able to naturally. But it also gives you a foothold oftentimes in your space as a thought leader, and it can create a lot of opportunities for you. So it's important, not urgent. That's just an example. And then not urgent, not important. Those are the things they are urgent but not important. That's the next one. They are urgent but not important. Those are the things that you can probably delegate. And when I say probably, I mean delegate them. And if you're touching stuff that is a $20 an hour job, like how many times are you touching things that you shouldn't be, but you feel like you have to because there's no one else to do it? You just haven't taken time to find that person, okay? And so get rid of it, delegate it. It can get done, but you don't have to do it. And so you are losing more money, more profit, and probably sleep by not delegating the things that you should be delegating. So what on your list can you just hand off to somebody else? Whether it's somebody on your team at work, your kids, your partner, whatever, it doesn't matter. Get rid of it. And then if it's not important, not urgent, delete that shit. You probably put it on there. It doesn't really matter. Get rid of it. Or put it on a parking lot list to revisit at another time, but it is not something that needs to take up your brain space now. So that is that. And now next, what do your systems look like? Okay. So goals are really great. They give you direction, and your why gives you that grit that you need to persevere, to get through, to grow. But systems get you results. Systems get you results. And so what do your systems look like? are like they existing in the first place, or do they need a little TLC? Do you need to refine them? What do you need to build within your team so that everyone you're servicing, all of your clients or customers, are getting the same experience over and over again? Do you have bottlenecks that you need to work on? Are there things that could be automated? Where can you use AI or technology and really delve into that? And ask your team for feedback. For those of you who have teams, like, they may have a lot of good answers. So pick their brain, have a team meeting, and really look at everybody's day-to-day and what is redundant and what systems can be created to make things possible to get the results that you need. You cannot run around like a chicken with your head cut off. Systems are critical in terms of moving the needle and getting the job done. They help build this bulletproof company, right? Where if something happens, that's okay. There's a system for it. And it also helps you scale, all right? And also, when you're adding to your team and you have really good documented systems or SOPs, standard operating procedures, and when you're bringing someone new in, it's easier for them to just plug in. They can watch a training video, they can pick up on a system, or you've got your clear documented SOPs for every single moving part of your business. It is so much easier for someone to digest from the outside what they need to do, how to do it, and keep that business running like a well-oiled machine. Because when that is the case and things are running like a well-oiled machine and there's automations in there, it allows you the time, the space, and the freedom that you need to innovate, anticipate, and stay ahead of the competition. If you want to be recession proof, if you want to get through this economic like winter that we may be heading into, you must think ahead. You cannot stay the same. You cannot be the business you were 10 years ago. You must constantly look at where things are headed, what is going to be needed in the future, where can you shine, where can you be the best and stand out, and constantly innovate and anticipate what those changes are going to look like. How is AI going to affect your business? Don't let it put you out of business. Let it amplify your business. And so to do that, you have to give yourself that space and time to really get ahead, versus staying in the daily grind, or you will go out of business, no doubt. So that is so important. So guys, what I want you to think about is, what is the one thing stopping you from everything? What is the one thing stopping you from getting every single thing that you want? Usually it's us, it's you. So take a pause, ask about what you need. What are you doing? What could you be doing differently? Write all of this down and then see who can help you. Most of us need someone to like help hold us accountable, to give us the tools that we need or the answers that we don't have, or, you know, what do we need to know? You don't know what you don't know. And often you can hire a pro or an expert or a coach to get you through this. You know, maybe it's myself or our team to help you with our business coaching program. Maybe it's someone entirely different, or maybe it's just the business bestie that you have and you're going to hold each other to a higher standard or hold yourself accountable. Just make sure you're putting something in place that works and that you're vested and committed, because the one thing that matters is results. So who is the person or the team that can get you those results? And know thyself, know who you are and where you fall off track. And if you need that community, you need that support, don't mess around. Like, go get it. Find the right person, because the results that you get are going to be way bigger than any investment than you make. And have faith in that, and trust and belief in yourself and your abilities. So who's the support team or the community that you need, and get ready for that transition and your mindset. You know, don't ask, if you're thinking about a coaching program or a coach, like, don't ask what it will cost, but ask yourself, what will it cost me if I don't do it? What will it cost me if I don't do it? That is the question I ask myself all the time, because I'm a cheap chip. I hate spending money. But when I need help or I want to grow my business, I have spent tens of thousands of dollars on coaches because I know I can't do it alone. And even if I know the way, I want someone to give me the shortcuts. You know, often when we hire coaches, we pay for speed. And so you get one extraordinary life. Don't live that someday life. That's a tragedy. Live the life that you know you're capable of living with full out conviction. I hope this helps you. So continue to be courageous, my powerhouses.